Yes, sir. Ready to go.
Great. Thank you so much. Well, welcome everyone. I greatly appreciate everybody taking some time out of their busy schedule to kind of join us as we kick off a webinar series here on Bits and Bytes. And our goal has been really to continue to educate and share different experts in the field of cybersecurity, as well as some AI evolutions that are been developing over the past year to 2 years. Especially the most important thing is as this technology continues to develop, it's all really about sharing, educating, and really understanding how do we secure the digital future at our workplace. Scott, Scott, if you could just go to the next slide, please.
Oh, sure. Sorry.
I
But
forgot that I don't have the control on this one. Thank you. So my name is Hugo Almeida. I'm the Chief Executive Officer at Abitronix, but I really like to be known as a senior technology advisor, which I have a deep passion for doing and working with people. I've been around quite a bit since the early 90s and have been with Abitronix for the past 23 years. But this morning, I'm really excited because I've had the opportunity to present side by side by Scott Henkel. Scott and I were together about a week and a half ago. He was on a panel of experts, all CISOs and cyber experts, discussing where the future, some of the concerns, how do we educate people, and how do we really create awareness? And this is what it's all about. So today I'm excited to be presenting with Scott, who's the Director of Product Cybersecurity at Clado. So Scott, if you could go to the next slide. A little bit about Abitronix. Abitronix has been around 23 years. We began with our first core pillar of excellence and service in the procurement world. We distributed and exported technology really across the globe. We've touched upon probably just over 43 countries now in 6 different continents. Our second strength and also core pillar of excellence and service has been our professional services. We have teams that go out, they do a wireless design outs. We can do full surveillance designs, walkthroughs, installations, post maintenance, AV build outs for rooms. We even touch upon IT staff augmentation, even if you needed a virtual CISO. But really, the third pillar of our business is really the technology advisory piece. And that is kind of where I spend most of my time. This is a space where I love. Why? Because I'm not selling, I'm sharing. I sit down with experts at it, whether they're CISO, CTO, CIOs, IT management, techs. We sit and we have discussions. How do they operate their business? How are they securing the environment? How do they collaborate? How are they communicating amongst their organization? What softwares do they use? These are all important questions so that we get to understand really the structure of their organization and how they operate. With that said, what happens is, Scott, the next one, please. What happens is we always wind up uncovering necessities. And my role and every technology advisor on Abitronix team, our role really is to identify where we can bring the value, where we can create the relationship and make the connection. We have relationships probably with just over 700 key service operators. In this instance, today we're talking with Claro. Claro is going to be specifically discussing how they can assist all of us in the security aspect, right? But Claro also touches upon infrastructure, AI, communication solutions, managed pro services, and in certain areas, even software as a service. So no matter what the needs are, like they say in New Jersey and New York, I know a guy. Scott? One thing I do want to share, and I'm not going to spend too much time here, but I really invite everyone to our series of Bits and Bytes. These are the dates in the future that we will be hosting with experts out of the security industry, as well as our cloud communications and AI teams. So I look forward to, and if it's okay, I will be sending out and sharing these dates with everyone. For anyone who is local to the New York, New Jersey area, I invite you to New York City. The we're having an actual in-person at Hudson Yards area where we're going to be talking about how AI is being utilized to improve and enhance the customer experience. Now, the thing is, anyone who will attend is going to get a $200 gift certificate to spend on Ray-Bans right there at Hudson Yards. So that's an in-person. Everything else will be online. Scott? So, most important thing, and it's one of the things that's leading me into Scott's presentation, is really let's discuss the cybersecurity threat landscape. Understanding risks, the causes, and AI solutions is critical. Listen, everyone here that's on this webinar today understands that cybersecurity is a must. It's a business imperative. Whether it's a ransomware attack on city government to data breaches in healthcare and finance, today it's critical. It's critical that we're always watching, understanding, update, and educating. This landscape, it's changed drastically and it's evolving rapidly, and it's become so much more sophisticated than ever before. And AI has played a huge space in this, and it's reshaping the way we defend the digital as well as the physical environments. I have a dear friend, a CISO, well known in the U.S. He always says, if you are not using AI to combat AI, you're going to lose. And it's a true statement. Scott? So in this landscape, why do these threats happen? And this is the reason we put together these Bits and Bytes webinar series. So it's one of these four factors. Now we can think of others, but it always comes down to one of these four. A human error, could be an outdated system, lack of visibility in your environment, and definitely sophisticated attackers. So our goal with these series of webinars is really education, education, education. We must continue to create awareness within your organization. So with that said, I'm excited, and Scott, I'm going to turn it over to you. And thank you again for taking this time to listen to what we have to share with everybody, the importance of managed security awareness training in your environment. Thank you.
Thanks, Hugo. Hi, everybody. I'm Scott Hinkle, based out of Denver, but born and raised in Northeast PA. So New York, New Jersey, and Northeast PA is my home. So Hugo, I'll meet you up in Hudson if you want next month. So if the Northeast PA in me slips out, I apologize in advance. I really am highly educated. So let's talk about it. Security awareness training. Why are hackers targeting education? Let me ask that as an open question. And since I can't see the notes, if you want to type in the chat, if my partner Franklin would help me out. Any ideas of why hackers are attacking education at a 75% increased rate year over year from 2024 to 2025? Any ideas? Any thoughts?
Lack of awareness.
Lack of awareness, and I'll give you the answer. The answer is that hackers are lazy. They follow the lightning rule. The lightning rule is the lightning will follow the path of least resistance every time. Hackers the same way. They're going to look for the easiest targets. If you look down at the bottom, IT is at the very least, the very smallest amount of being attacked. In fact, it's down 34% year over year. Why? Because they're harder to hack. People in IT are sophisticated. They're Hugos. They're not going to fall for a regular phishing incident. I have a 16-year-old and a 21-year-old. They're the target. As tech savvy as my kids are, and they still are subjected to tons and tons of phishing emails. Like they each get at least 4 or 5 a week, which is more than me, which is kind of funny. Why? Because their profile is perfect. The education systems from kids from 15 to 23 is the higher education network. They're the most online They're the most social media aware generation in modern history. So with all of that information, like Hugo was saying, hackers can create very, very targeted phishing emails for each one of these kids individually because of their online presence. The other great part about education for hackers is that every year you get a new crop of kids. There's a new crop of kids that are usually very, very junior when it comes to online technology. I guarantee none of these kids have gone through any sort of social media training. I guarantee none of these kids have gone through any sort of security awareness training. So they are ripe. That's why this chart is so drastic. It is a hacker's dream. So we identified the problem. Most every organization, I'm sure everyone here either has Office 365 or a Google Workspace. They have great filters. They really do. However, at least 10 to 15% of phishing attacks make it through those filters every time. And so you think about the volume of emails that you get, your students get, your faculty gets. It's 10 to 15% is quite significant. So the solution is to create human firewalls, is what is the term that Clara likes to use. We want to create your staff and your students to be very aware, very conscious, very wary even of phishing emails. To be able to see, maybe I should hover my cursor over that email. If it's coming from a Gmail account, from some random account, my wife actually got one this week. It was what'd she say? She said it was like securebank@gmail.com, and she's like, yeah, okay, I'm not gonna fall for this, but it's coming. There are those kind of phishing attacks that are coming. So creating those human firewalls, creating that awareness, and then creating that extra layer of protection for a unified solution for your customers. That's where Claro comes in, and making it customized. We are able to do that through utilizing AI. So when I've talked a couple times over the course of the last year about AI and how it applies to security. The old days we used to think that AI is going to replace human beings, and actually the way that we're starting to interact with AI today, it's augmenting humans. It's making us more effective, and that's where Claro uses AI to be more effective, to create customized security awareness training for specifically education for students and for faculty, because the threats that are attacking them are very different from IT, as I showed in the previous slide. So we use a circular training model where we test, we train, we test, we educate, we train, and we analyze. We're going to create phishing attempts for phishing campaigns specific to your environment, to your students. We'll even do social engineering. We'll go and research your kids. We'll research your faculty if you want, and we can create those very, very targeted phishing emails for your environment per your instruction. And then we're going to show you the results. The ROI on security awareness training is almost immediate. We're going to be able to show you within the first phishing campaign. Here are all of your users. Here are your staff. Of that staff, this percentage of folks clicked on the link. Okay, so they're going to be on a separate targeted training program. The folks that reported phishing, they're going to be on a lesser intense training program. The folks that didn't even bother to report it, they're going to be on a different training path. So we have one user body, 3 different training paths based off of that very first phishing attempt. That's the solution that we provide. It's not just reselling licenses for Claro. It's that targeted, customized phishing campaigns. Like I said before, we have a baseline test. We're also going to provide training, customized training. We have access to over 2,000 different pieces of training content. We can customize each one of those. And we do that for customers every day. We've been doing this for over 20 years. My staff of engineers and IT professionals collectively have almost 60 years of experience in the field. They've been doing this for a long time, and we do it really well. Claro has, as a culture, we have a culture of making sure that customer satisfaction is always first of mind. Our CSAT rating is over, I think it's 98%. CSAT rating. So we do focus on customer training. What's different? We have this solution called PhishER. PhishER, think of it this way. So this product is able to, when we have a reported email that's bad, and it's the first time it's ever been seen, we can now look at that email, send it through some AI filters to be able to do some intelligence gathering. So it's going to do, threat intelligence feed. It's going to do a pulse of our threat intelligence to be able to say, hey, has this email been seen before? And if so, what characteristics does it have that makes it either good or bad or just a fake? We're going to be able to return that rating, send that to one of my IT professionals, one of my engineers, who's going to look at that email and do their own independent investigation if it comes up with like a partial understanding of it might be bad. And if it is bad, it's going to be really bad. We're going to investigate those things, and we're going to be able to see, hey, this email is really bad. I'm going to go ahead and yank this out of every single person's inbox, whether it's in your inbox, your spam filter, your deleted box. It's going to rip them all out, and it's going to block it for the next time that it comes in. That's a distinct feature that we have, that we can now protect you and pull those emails out proactively. And it's a fully managed solution. You don't have to worry about anything. So admittedly, I am a reformed security awareness training admin, and I've done that in the past. I had a 200-person environment. I was conducting these things more manually than they are today. There's a lot more automation that's available today than it was before, but I was averaging about 16 hours a month, and that wasn't even my job. I just happened to have security on my title, and so they gave me the security awareness training as a role. There was about 16 hours a month of me managing a 200-person environment. Can't imagine what some of you all have 1,000 staff in environments where this would be almost a full-time job. We take that over for you, and we give you the results. We show you the improvement. We're going to be able to track by individual user, by individual groups, their progress. And we're going to be able to show you from the start, they started here, and then we've moved them up to a much more savvy person. So very, very proactive, very communicative, very transparent. Some of the key benefits. The biggest thing I wanted to touch on is compliance. I know that there's a FERPA requirement that most schools in New York area is going to be compliance to. We're going to be able to provide you with those kind of compliance reports to be able to have that be readily available and at your fingertips. We're going to automate a lot of things for you. The training, the phishing delivery, all that's going to be automated. We're going to take that work off of your plate and give you the results that you need. And then the variety. Your users aren't going to get bored with us. Like I said, we have over 2,000 pieces of content that we can customize for your environment. You're not going to get the same training twice, more than likely. And we're going to put a priority on it. If we see something bad, we're going to take action on it. And the story I like to tell is, and my wife is an elected official in full transparency. She has friends that are recognizable names in the state of Colorado. So I don't get to tell this story at social parties because she smacked me in the back of the head and said you quit making fun of my friends. But anyway, I'm going to do it today because you guys are not in the state of Colorado, so I can talk trash. So the Attorney General of Colorado got a ransomware attack in 2024. So this was last year, very recent. Yeah. So it was the Friday before they went off on a holiday break. They typically take about a 2-week break. And there was an employee, it was late in the afternoon. She got an email from somebody she recognized. She opened up the file and then didn't realize that file was actually loaded with ransomware. And she closed everything out, didn't report it, and then went off for a 2-week break. Come to find out, when they come back after 2 weeks, their entire filing system was encrypted. All of the records, all of the judge's records, all of the plaintiff's records, all of the prosecution's records, they were all encrypted. They were down for another 2 weeks. So you think about an entire month. You have these very well-paid lawyers, clerks, and prosecutors and defendants that are all sitting for two extra weeks in addition to the 2-week break, unproductive. They had to pay the total price tag was $2 million. And then none of that was budgeted. And I know all of you all here understand how school funding is done. That is budgeted. You project your requirements, you project your funding, you get what you have, and you utilize that. This was unbudgeted, $2 million, unbudgeted. Can you imagine having to go to the taxpayers and say, "Hey, I'm sorry, we screwed up. We need an extra $2 million." It's a bad look. That's bad. It's bad on everybody. The brand, the trust in your systems is broken. In addition to that, there was an additional projected about another $1.2 million of lost labor. You had all these people that are sitting on their hands because they can't do anything. You have judges that can't rule on cases. The worst part about it is you have people that are potentially not even guilty sitting in jail, waiting for their trial, and they can't conduct the trial because the records are all encrypted. So all in all, it pays to do security awareness training. It pays to invest in your people. It pays over time. And again, like I said, I can't tell that story in social settings, so I appreciate you guys letting me share that. But that's the cost of doing business in today's security.
Hey,
Hey,
Scott, there's one quick question. I believe Dan has a question.
yeah, I just kind of going back to your training. With regards to the training, based on the audience, based on the customer requirements, what compliancy environments do you align your training to? Is it NIST, CSF, NIST 800, 171, CIS? And again, for those who may not know, these are essentially the formats and foundations that all compliancy standards and regulatory bodies align to. So I'm just kind of curious as far as your training, besides doing the customization, how do you align your trainings to those to make sure that they are A, effective, and B, informative and entertaining and educational while maintaining the requirements?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, this could be a real pain. It can be a real slog. We make it fun. And all those compliance requirements, Dan, you mentioned all of the above in addition to HIPAA and PCI. So the training is customized based off of that environment and based off of and then the other piece of it is reporting. If anyone has ever had to reply to a compliance report, you understand just how tense that can be at times. And making sure you have all the right materials, you have all the right delivery, we help with that. So our reporting is compliance ready as well. So we'll be able to help you respond to those things. So all of those different NIST, PCI, HIPAA, FERPA, we're going to be able to help you with all of those compliance requirements. Great question.
Right. Thank you, Dan.
Okay, so I've hit on the first two. The third one is the one that I want to talk a little bit about, which is 24/7 support and customizable training. We want you to be able to take vacations. That's our goal. We want you to be able to take vacations and not have to worry about what's going on back at the homestead. We want you to be able to enjoy yourself. You should be able to do that on the weekends. Like with my example beforehand, they had 2 weeks of completely unfettered access to the Colorado District Attorney's records. We would have found that, seen that threat, and stopped it right away. And we would have sent you a report on Friday evening and say, "Hey, listen, we found this suspicious activity, and we mitigated it. And here's a report. Have a great weekend." How about that? Peace of mind. That's what we sell, Clara. We're not selling fear. We're selling peace of mind.
So, Scott, if I could just jump in really quick.
Yeah,
one of the key things that I just want to share with everyone here is transparency. Scott and I, we discussed about, listen, how much does everything cost? What does managed security awareness training truly cost? Normally, companies don't share. In this case, we're transparent. Scott was willing to share all the costs with everyone just to give you guidelines as to what's the investment of education within your organization. Scott?
Yeah, and so these are per user price. We want to be transparent, like Hugo said. We offer a 12, 24, and 36-month contracts and ongoing support. And as you can see, for the price of of transparency and for the price of peace of mind, we come in very, very competitively. So we're not out here trying to rip you off. We're trying to provide you a value. That's why I share the prices. Anybody have any questions on this? I can expand if you'd like, but if not, we can continue to move on.
No, I think we're good.
Good. So moving into Q&A, any questions? I can be quiet for a little bit, I promise, if you have any questions.
Anyone? Any questions? Is anyone currently
Mar-
using
Marcelo
security
has a
windows?
question.
Andrew?
Yeah, Marcelo has a question.
Okay.
Hello, Scott.
Yeah,
How are you?
Marcelo.
Thank you.
Hey, Marcelo.
I work with the New York City hospitals now, and in the past with higher ed institutions. And my question is more of any time that there is a training, when you go to teachers, professors, or doctors, there is like a systemic barrier. They just don't want to learn anything extra on their activities. And it's really been difficult for IT, for any program, trying to help them and trying to get them to learn something. Even the remote teaching has been a problem, especially for public institutions. So what's your take on that? How do you approach it? What's your, do you have any success case in the past? Because uh, we all know it's really important. The leadership wants to do it. They've tried many things, many systems. Even they've changed LMS systems to supposedly a better system. But the problem is always that they just don't want to engage in anything other than their own professions. What's your take on that?
So,
Great question.
yeah, great question. So I am the
Acceptance.
son of a public education teacher. My father was a English teacher for 42 years and a principal. I married into a teaching environment. My wife is a science teacher and a math teacher. So I know intimately their schedules, and I know intimately how much they load extra stuff thrown on top of what they already have to do. Just grading in itself is a pain in the ass. I know this from firsthand. So what I say that so that I can say what we want to do is create an environment that is not too labor intensive and is even kind of fun. We want to make sure that we give folks the information they need. We want to make sure we train folks. We want to make sure that they're safe. And I think when you communicate your intent ahead of time and say, my intent is to not take up like a ton of your time, but make sure that we deliver something for you that is meaningful, and then provide reporting and transparency. Like that's the other thing. So if we're communicating clearly back to your customers that, hey, here's where we started from, and let's celebrate where we're at today. We've had some improvement. You create that sort of like positive environment of not really a competitive environment, but you create that positive environment of creating user groups like the English group, the English team, a teaching organization, the science teaching organization, phys ed, and then put them on different training courses that are customizable, that are realistic, that are and that are meaning something. Because I think most people today, I could say, I'm a Gen X, and so I know my generation grew up on the internet. And so we understand the pitfalls that are out there. And as you get younger, the realization of the pitfalls that are out there become more and more apparent. And so if you make it relevant, if you make the training compelling, and you make it not time intensive, most of our training programs take no longer than 2 minutes. So
Okay.
if you have 2 minutes to invest in your cybersecurity hygiene and protecting your kids, and you're protecting your environment, protecting yourself, that creates a compelling story right there. So that's how we focus on it. When we do our training, it's not week-long training, day-long training, hour-long training. It's a few minutes.
Oh, well, I think that's a that's the pitch there for the leadership.
Yeah.
And that's a very
Like I
short
said, I
2
get
minutes.
it. I get it.
It's not easy. You can't force everyone, right? But you got to make it compelling enough for them to understand the severity and the importance of it. Again, it's education, right? It's awareness of what could happen and the
Hey,
millions
Scott,
of dollars that it could cause in loss and lawsuits, etc. It's
go
so
ahead, Stanley. You have a question?
Yeah, hi, Scott, and hi, Hugo. Hi,
Stan.
everyone. I'm Stan from Kane University here in New Jersey.
Nice.
I joined a little late, but I think I got in at the right time as you got into the details. So thank you. Just a couple quick comments. Number one, this idea of managed security awareness training is terrific, right? Because we
Great.
do grapple with this internally. In fact, in my unit, I have to make available cyber awareness training, and I'll be transparent because it's on the public web. We use SANS Litmos, right? It's popular in academic institutions. And it's about the price point of what you just demonstrated. So I was happy to see that, Scott. I think
Yeah.
that's terrific to see. But here's where it got a little wonky for us. So we have cyber awareness training. And honestly, I've been criticized because we train every student that comes into the university as a freshman or a transfer.
Good.
And it's about a 50-minute training. And they get graded on it. It's part of a transitions course. It's all done online, and then they have to take an assessment at the end because they need, we're a school, right? We need to test if the students actually did the work. So that's one component. We tried to add the phishing component, and that was an add-on. It cost more to add the phishing piece. So San said, fine, Stan, you got all these modules, and we could pick and choose the modules. They're videos, and some of them are slides, and they're pretty interactive. And then there's simple assessments. The phishing didn't go as well as we thought it would. And so, but it was an add-on. The pricing that you demonstrated, Scott, is that for the full package, the awareness training, the videos and assessment, and the phishing and the management of it as well?
Yes, sir.
everything's
So
included.
phishing simulations are included in our pricing. That's for us. That's just table stakes. Like that's a requirement. That is a critical part of the whole overall experience. And so we do offer that. The add-ons that we do offer are the Phish ER. So if that's an addition, that's an add-on, but it's I think it's less than $2 a user, so pretty economical. And then the compliance piece of it. So because the compliance piece requires additional work on our end, which we're happy to do, it's just something our model of pricing model just didn't equate. But yeah, phishing is included in our base model. So all the pricing that I showed you, that's for everything. That's for the videos, the training, the management, the phishing exercises, the reporting, all of that is
Right.
included.
Okay.
Stan,
Terrific. I never thought of Claro in this area, so I'll certainly take a look at it, right? Because it is, we
if
haven't
I-
looked at our suite in a few years, but at least it's something to evaluate, I would say.
Absolutely. Stan, one of the things when we partner with any provider, one of the most important things is that we analyze and review to make sure the offering it has to be complete. If we're always a security first company, we don't offer a la carte little pieces here and there. It's almost like MSSPs today. They try to get competitive, so they break out key components to make it cost friendly for environments. But by doing so, you leave in open areas. So Abitronix does the homework, the meetings way ahead of time. Claro is one of our premier partners because of this. It has to be complete. We cannot leave, for example, the phishing exercise and then all of a sudden add a component later. It just doesn't work. It must always be complete from the start.
All right,
Great
terrific.
question,
Thank
though,
you.
Stan.
Yeah.
And if
Larry,
Hugo, I'm
Larry
sorry.
has a question. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead,
Larry?
Larry.
Sure. Thank you, and good morning, everybody. I'm visiting from Expedient Staffing Solutions. We manage a 311 call center for New York City, and essentially we have varying users, roughly about like 70 agents, 70, 80 agents, and their digital literacy, it varies. Sometimes we have younger guys coming right out of school, to maybe somebody's grandmother, right, that is working with us seasonally, right? So depending on what the needs are, I was just kind of curious to get a little bit more explanation outside of like the email and phishing campaigns. What are some of the exercises, right? Are these like, I know you're saying webinars, are these like exercises? Is there software, digital training as well? Like how is the training set up and administered?
Scott, if I could just jump in before I pass it over to you. Larry, that's a great question, but it becomes even more important today, because I understand your business. You're a government contact center for NYC 311. Huge responsibilities. You guys are funneling phone calls from all different government agencies. The thing is, today you have remote workers now, right? They're no longer hubbed, uptown. So now that becomes even more critical. How do you manage? How do you control? How do you create the awareness to all those remote agents that you have spread out all over New York? So Scott, that's just a little background of Larry's Expedient company there.
Yeah. Hey, Larry, thanks for the question. So,
Sure.
if you remember, there was a slide I had before where it had a big wheel. That's how we take on this thing. So we meet people where they're at. The way I like to frame it is like if Scott's a dumbass and I click on everything, but Hugo is really intelligent and very savvy and doesn't click on anything, our training programs are going to be different. It's still the same training. It's just delivered in a different fashion, where mine is going to be a little bit more intense. I'll probably have more modules that I have to complete. I'll have more phishing campaigns that are coming in my way, and Hugo will have less.
Okay.
So that's the level of customization that we have. So adding seasonal people for us is no big deal. We'll simply baseline them and we'll figure out where they're at, and we'll put them in the appropriate training program based off of their baseline. And then we'll continuously test. We'll always continuously test. And because in full disclosure, I actually got caught with a phishing campaign. I was just started with a company, and this was years ago now. It was a long time ago. But I got started with this new company, and I got a random text message from the CEO. And I was like not away from my computer, so I couldn't see, a lot of details because it was on my phone. And I replied. And then I got a text message from the actual CEO. It was like, Scott, you're supposed to be our security guy. How in the world did we get you in your first month with a phishing campaign?
Sure.
That's
Sure.
exactly why we do it. Even people like me get caught. So if I can get caught, then anybody can get caught. So we, like I said, if seasonal people, we roll them on, roll them off, we'll meet them where they're at.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thanks for
Great
answering my question.
Larry. Great
Sure.
question.
Sure. Thank you.
Really quick, Scott, there was a question about, is this also available in Spanish?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes. Our full disclosure, our company is owned. We're a wholly owned subsidiary of America Mobile, which is based in Mexico City. I'm one of the few folks that don't speak Spanish at Claro.
Yeah.
I'm trying, but no, the training delivery model is in multiple languages.
Excellent.
Up to 34 languages, Hugo.
Awesome.
Different languages.
Hey Scott, this is Frank. I know here at Claro we implement security awareness training, and I know the conversation came up earlier. How do you enforce folks to make sure that they take the training, right? I know that when I take the training or I delay on taking the training, I get an email from HR saying, you are you missed the deadline that you needed to complete this security awareness training. Please get it completed within the next 15 days. And that's coming directly from HR. Is there some kind of integration with HR or the type of reporting that is provided by the system that alerts or makes HR aware that these individuals have not completed the security awareness training? So it could be another layer to enforce that that gets done from an HR perspective?
Yeah, so reporting is very customizable based off of your environment, your requirements. If you would like, and so Frank's got a good example here because we actually use the same security awareness training product that we manage for you. So we are users of this thing. So we know firsthand that if you need a report sent to HR at a specific time period, like every month, every week, we'll do that for you, and we'll make sure we deliver on that. If it needs to go to a different organization or multiple organizations, we'll customize that for you. So we'll create the reporting that is, something that works for your shop and your environment, because every organization is going to be a little different. So yeah, we recognize that.
Scott, I have Michael has a great question, and I'm very curious about this. There's I want to understand if Claro today is thinking of phishing, which is an AI generated voices from the CEO itself. For example, duplicating my voice. I know Marcelo has worked with AI generated voice applications in different languages. He has cloned his own voice in like 14 languages, and we ran through some tests with him once. But Scott, is Claro thinking of anything when it comes to this type of phishing type attack?
Yeah, it's on the roadmap. Phishing is still kind of in that infancy age
Yeah,
of, when but yeah, it's on our roadmap for sure.
it's getting good. It's scary.
Yeah, it's frightening. Yeah.
Okay, any other questions? Great. So I don't want, I respect everyone's time, but Scott, did you want to share maybe just a 1 minute bonus here for everyone?
Sure.
Some new technology that's coming out here from Claro. Just wanted to share this with everybody.
Yeah, so this message goes out to all my system administrators and IT directors. So if that's you, I'm talking directly to you. I'm going to save you some time, and I'm going to save you some money. We have a brand new, complete, the most comprehensive endpoint management and security solution on the planet. I say that with full confidence, as being someone who's been in the IT director role, and I've been in cybersecurity for now 15 years. Unified Endpoint Management is our new solution. We just launched it a couple of weeks ago. In fact, Hugo was part of the first people that I talked to about this, actually, to show you what our relationship is with Abitronix and Hugo with Claro. We are very, very close. It's full support for Windows, Mac, Linux, Android, iOS, servers, VMs, and networking devices. So anything with an IP address, we can help you guys manage. So think about that with all your endpoints. Think about that with your environments in school. You have these students that are rolling on, students rolling off, staff rolling on, staff rolling off. We're going to give you visibility into every single one of them. We're going to be able to show you how your environment is from a security standpoint and how your environment is from an endpoint standpoint. And those two things are different. We're going to help you with patch management. We're going to automate a lot of your daily tasks. So if anybody here remembers Log4j, that nightmare. I was an IT admin during the Log4j for Angie's List. So actually headquartered in New York. I remember how much of a pain in the ass that was. We spent 3 months just on criticals, just working criticals. We can automate a lot of that now. So I wish I had this solution when I was an IT admin, is what I'm saying. We're going to help you with backup too. We have a comprehensive ransomware detection mitigation program, and also a comprehensive backup program. We're going to be able to back up all your cloud assets and your mobile assets. So all your phones, all your laptops, all your desktops, all your cloud assets, they're all going to be able to be backed up by Claro. We're cloud native. It's agent based. And so, like I said, if it has an IP address, 9 times out of 10, we're going to be able to manage that for you. It's easy to deploy too. We can be up and running in as little as 2 weeks, and for thousands and thousands of endpoints. It's that easy. And we're going to provide that sort of like next level of security. The example I like to give is we actually had an environment where we took over an environment and we noticed that there were PCs that were running at 97% CPU consumption. But we were able to remote into those desktops. Now we figured out that those desktops were actually part of a DDoS array. So we were able to then employ endpoint protection. We dropped in some endpoint protections solutions that we were able to roll back those PCs to a point where before they were compromised, and we were able to patch and fix the holes. That kind of visibility is unheard of. That is game-changing visibility that we're going to be able to do for you and for your customers, and we're going to be able to take hours off of your day. When I talked to a college in Atlanta, Georgia, a couple of months ago with Frank, they were spending, I think we said about 20 hours. Two IT directors were spending about 20 hours each a month on patch management. They were able to delegate that to us, and we were able to do that for them and do it well. Our IT team and our engineering team, like I said, over 40 years of combined experience in the industry. So you're getting literally experts for pennies on the dollar.
Awesome.
And so this is just
Larry, you have a question? I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Scott. Larry has a question. Go ahead, Larry.
Go for it.
You're on mute, Larry. You're on mute. Yep. There you
Okay,
go.
sorry about that. I was taking some notes here. So that's RMM software then, correct?
That's it. You got it.
Oh, okay. So
I'm speaking to my people.
are you able to push scripts to all the endpoints?
Yeah.
And if we were to install something like that remotely, right? Is that would be
Yeah.
the MSI files, because our agents are like users, right, on the PCs that we've sent out to them. So something like this you'd install through a MSI, right? And it would
Right.
be, and we could give them admin rights through the software.
Right. Yeah, so we can push this out a number of different ways. You can push it out, from your remote desktop, or you can have folks download it. Either way, however you want to do it. But yeah, we can be very, very flexible when it comes to deployments. We also can deploy it for you, so you don't have to worry about it.
Do you charge per endpoint or per technician?
Per endpoint.
Per endpoint. Okay.
Mhm.
How do you guys compare with companies like Atera or Ninja One?
So Ninja One is our partner. So we compare very well with them. So yeah, Ninja One's our partner. They're the tool. The way I like to describe it is Claro is Tony Stark and Ninja One is the Iron Man suit. When you combine the two, we're extremely effective.
Yeah, Ninja One is pretty powerful. I've been meeting with them for like the past 2 weeks now. They have some pretty good stuff.
Yeah, come see us. We'll do a demo for you. Yeah, I can get you a demo set up and whenever is available for you. I'll get you a demo. We'll walk through it. Yeah, Frank and Hugo could get you set up with a demo. Let's get you going.
Larry,
Yeah, we could talk offline.
definitely.
Cool.
Andrew, question? You're muted. Drew, you're muted.
Sorry, I always forget to do that. Thank you for mentioning the phishing attempts in education. That felt right, but I never seen it that number before. We had 1 week where we had like 3, 4 really bad ones. I can't get into details obviously, but it was I didn't realize it was so high. And then also talking about the AI, because that's something I've been worried about for a while. So I'm glad to see you're aware and sort of planning for the future. My question is, I guess, more logistically, and this is not an area I'm super knowledgeable about, but our college has purchasing. Like we're limited in what we can buy. It has to be typically through a state vendor, or it has to go out to bidding. I guess what I'm asking is Claro a New Jersey state approved vendor, or is it strictly the New York area?
Scott?
Was that to me or Hugo?
I don't know. I wouldn't know how,
honestly.
Purchasing.
Honestly, Andrew, I don't know. I'm not sure if we're on any sort of like a GSA type listing. I'd have to check back with you on that one.
I think we can buy other people, but there's like a threshold, and then after that, and it varies from year to year. So that might just be some red tape on our end. We'd have to look up.
Yeah,
we
we'll work with you on
could
that.
we could definitely talk with you, Drew, offline on that one. You know, we're obviously
you,
a
Drew.
local arm, but Colorado has
That's right.
yeah. And it gets tricky with government too, and education. You know, we have some direct relationships where we need to be in the middle, and there's many cases where it goes direct to the actual service operator and or service provider.
You seem to be more, based off our conversations, you're more knowledgeable about this sphere than I am.
Yeah.
So maybe you and I will catch up later on that.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. And actually, I'm sharing that with everyone. After this, what we'll do is we'll share this recording. Everyone's feel free to share amongst you're with your colleagues at the universities or government or the hospitals. It's important that everybody, again, the goal here is education. Continue to share information. Definitely always looking to create more awareness. Times are getting tricky. And it's important that we, as leaders in this space, continue to kind of stay on top of the game, but yet continue to share what's out there. You know, it's scary. It's scary. There's some meetings that we get involved with where I could see with the potential of a disaster happening. So it's critical. So we've been focusing, especially with these Bits and Bytes webinar series, about just creating awareness, sharing the tools that exist out there that we may be able to take advantage of. So, yeah, thank you, Drew. I'll definitely talk to you. So, Scott, and are we good?
I think we're good.
Awesome. Listen, if no one else has any further questions, I do want to thank each and every one of you for breaking apart from your day. I thought we'd kind of wrap this up in 35 to 40 minutes, but I'm glad it went to some great questions. And again, everyone, have a wonderful day. Be on the lookout for the invites for future Bits and Bytes webinar series, okay? We'll be touching upon really important topics. So look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thank you, everybody.
Awesome.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for your
Take care,
time.
everybody.
Have a good
Thank
day.
you. Take
Scott,
care,
thank
everyone.
you.
No problem.
Thank you, guys.